Oh, hello, Yan. Hello, welcome to the Geeky Ones. So I'm Drew. Next to me is Steven. So yeah, welcome to episode 91 of the podcast. So nine more to 100, really close. So that's really the best part now. And for the past weeks, we've been talking about video games, wrestling, and now we're gonna go to a mix up between video games and movies with video game movies Redux. I think Steven, we did this like 2018 or last year. I think we
I
did
think
this
we did
last
one
year.
last year. Yeah, we talked
Yeah, we
about
did
like
one
video
last year. Okay.
games,
So yeah,
like
we
right
did
before. Yeah,
I think
go
we
ahead.
did it live. I remember we did it live.
Yeah, it was a live one. It was a live one.
Okay. So yeah, we talked about movies and video games, like best movies based on video games, and I think we talked about the vice versa, but not much. That's a topic in a week. I did. That's a Yeah. We talked about that too, which is another thing we can expand to.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, for this one we did kind of a matchup format. We compare six different movies
Mm-hmm.
and see how they match up to each other. So
And
like
how they did their franchises justice
yeah, how
or
did they
not?
do their franchise justice? And yeah, we chose six because these are pretty good.
Some
We'll
of the
mention
popular
a
ones.
few honorable mentions after.
Yep.
So since there's like a whole set of movies worth mentioning after. So yeah, that's one thing. But yeah, I guess we'll start right off the bat. Now, Steven, this is a recent 2021 release. One of the movies here is a recent 2021 release. It also had a 90s adaptation. Same with the opposite of this one. So it's a very classic showdown here between two iconic franchises, and that is Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. So yeah,
ah,
Mortal Kombat recently had a pretty solid movie for all it's worth. A pretty solid movie for earlier this year. It was fun. It was fun camping in its own way. It felt like a Mortal Kombat game at some
it
point.
did. It did. Yeah.
So it took a lot of liberties from the game. So just to make it feel like you're in the game. And meanwhile, Street Fighter had the 90s run, Street Fighter the movie,
Oh.
which also spawned Street Fighter the movie, the game. So which is kind of weird because I don't think they should have made that. But yeah. And then if you recall, there was Street Fighter Legend of Chun Li.
Oh, let's not.
So this is why I think we can fairly cover both franchises because they've had multiple movies. Mortal Kombat having three notable ones, and Street Fighter having two. And I guess let's compare the 90s one. So Steven, how will our criteria be set? So let's go.
All right. So our criteria will be set. Hold on. Oh, feedback? Is there feedback?
No, 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 no. It's fine.
All right. Cool. Sige. So for this list, we will be talking about. Hold on, let me just find that list again. It's been a while. Video game movies revisited. All right. So our factors are. I think Jude mentioned this. Huh. Ayan, there we go. So we will be comparing the plot, best hero, best villain, worst hero, worst villain, and how the movie did the franchise justice. So let's start off with the plot comparison of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Now, if you're not familiar with the video games, Mortal Kombat involves this giant inter-realm tournament that determines
Mhm.
the fate of the universe, essentially. That's pretty much the basic plot of Mortal Kombat. Interdimensional fighters fighting different people or beings. For Street Fighter, the plot is, huh? It's supposed to be like a global tournament, right? Street
Yeah,
Fighter.
it's a world fighting tournament.
Yeah. So they're almost the same with Mortal Kombat, but instead of being interdimensional, Street Fighter is just in Earth. I think
Mhm.
it's a little bit more realistic, but you do have characters like V, the one with the V. I forgot his name. Do you remember his name, Jude?
Who?
The green character with the red hair.
Uh, Blanca.
Yeah, Blanca. So Blanca is supposed to be a mutant, right? If I
Hmm.
remember correctly, Blanca's supposed. But anyway, Street Fighter is like a more realistic um world fighting tournament. In other words, now for the movies, Mortal Kombat did do that. They were very faithful in the original '90s. Mortal Kombat was very faithful to its video game plot. People were
Yep.
there to fight in an interdimensional tournament.
Yeah. Also worth noting that I think they kind of took a lot of inspiration from the modern Mortal Kombat games. If you notice,
Actually, I
a
think the
bit more
movies
of the
really like
modern
changed
one.
a lot of things, no, with the video game. The original movie, like two movies.
Oh yeah,
The,
okay. I think the first two movies took inspiration from the '90s video games,
yeah,
while the recent one, 2021, was felt more closely in more closely to the 2010s Mortal Kombat games, the
that's true.
rebooted one. So it was really cool because there were a lot of references there. It was very interesting and fun to watch. And for Street Fighter, well, the '90s one really looked into Street Fighter 2 and 3.
Hmm.
So I mean, that was very easy. That was an easy choice. Although it was of course, we know how Street Fighter in the '90s one panned out, and the Legend of Chun Li
Hmm.
fared even
Mhm.
crazier, which I kind of try to forget what happened to that show sometimes.
But speaking of the Street Fighter movies, there's a
Hmm.
certain like. Oh, here's what I noticed about Street Fighter and the Mortal Kombat '90s movies. Both were box office failures,
Uh-huh.
but they ended up being cult classics in their own way because of the overacting and just
Hmm.
the passion that the actors gave for the roles.
Hmm.
Like Kylie Minogue being what's her name? It's
Cammy.
actually Cammy. Kylie Minogue, an Australian actress being Cammy. I'm not sure if Kylie Minogue was the best choice. I mean, she's one of the big '90s pop stars, so I totally understand why they slapped her on there. But she cannot handle an American accent, unlike the actress of Sonya in the 2021 Mortal Kombat, who is also Australian, but she could handle an American accent better. But I guess that's a similar thing with the accents of, if we're comparing accents of actors and actresses. Jean
Yeah.
Claude Van Damme, a
Well,
Belgian,
Jean Claude Van Damme just stuck to his guns and stuck with his Belgian accent, so that was
and his
fine.
drug addiction.
I think it would have been better if they just stuck to their accents because they're not really it's kind of okay if they're I mean Jean Claude Van Damme can come off as like European American, sure, but I think
Yeah,
it's fine because they're not really American forces. They're like UN, right? Pretty
yeah.
much UN.
It's just
So
weird, diba? Yung
it's just
character
weird. But yeah,
ni...
I think
Hmm.
worth noting it's Raul Julia's the Raul
Oh.
Julia's performance was like the best one. It's like how could we say it was his last, I think, because he had cancer. I think he
Yeah,
had
sadly, he had cancer, and then
but hey, he wanted to be in Street Fighter as M Bison,
yeah,
and he just wanted to act his heart out, and
I mean, he did it
we
for
got
his
a
kids,
really
man.
we got a really great performance and a few iconic lines. The Bison Dollar spiel was fun, and um that day,
For me,
to
it
me
was
that was a
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, to me that
Yeah,
was a Tuesday line. That was really cool.
so iconic.
I think Bison was in a way the most faithful one.
Yeah.
Although he wasn't the big imposing guy, he got the character and he got the character work there. He was able
Mm.
to make. Bison, the large imposing, the larger than life villain that he is portrayed in Street Fighter. I
Yeah.
mean, apart from that, Blanca was accurately depicted somehow, diba?
Medyo. Pwede
Even
na, but
yeah,
not
you know,
bad.
I can't remember if he was an actual experiment in the video games, but yeah, the way he looks was really the
Faithful, no?
same. I can't remember if they had Dalsim, but I think Dalsim
Yeah,
was
he was.
he was. I can't even
But
remember how
he
Dalsim
didn't
was
have the
depicted
extending
there.
arms, though. That's the weird part.
Oh yeah, that was the sad part. So
So,
yeah,
hmm,
yeah, okay. We and then we talk about Legend of Chun Li because
hmm.
it's I think if we're gonna compare if we're gonna compare the 90s one to the 2008 2009 Street Fighter movie, this was way worse. If the 90s Street Fighter tried to capture the essence of the game, diba? They were still able to do.
Oh, yeah, they
It
did.
had
They definitely
90s
did.
cap. It was funny. It was fun.
It's
It
like
was
the
fun to
Adam West
watch.
Batman or Batman and Robin, diba? Like, you
Yeah,
know it's
but
bad, but it's intentionally
yeah,
bad.
this one it's bad. This one's Legend of Chun Li was bad, and it was bad. It wasn't good. Um, it was yeah, it had a Canadian Chun Li, Canadian actress for Chun Li.
Kristen Croy from Smallville.
I mean,
And,
she's Asian Canadian, but yeah,
yeah,
it was. But it was mostly a whitewash standalone Chun Li movie. It was really weird.
very
And
weird.
M Bison, the characters didn't look like themselves. It was so weird. It felt like a different. It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't feel like Street Fighter.
Hmm.
I don't even. I can't. I just don't wanna. I just wanna forget. Like, imagine, instead of we see M Bison with the generalissimo outfit, like dictator tyrant outfit, he was more
Yeah.
like a mob boss. It's for me. It was like like the Bourne movies maybe. The action. It was just
It's not
it was
there,
just
no?
a sad movie. Sure, Michael Clark Duncan as Balrog and Taboo as Vega. What Taboo of
Huh?
Black Eyed Peas?
Yeah,
See,
man. Sobrang random.
which
And we
is
all know
like
what Vega did in that
yeah,
anime
Robo show
movie.
us again. Thank you, Derv. So yeah, that was one. So yeah, that was really
It was a
that's
weird
insane.
movie.
The less mention about the
Yeah.
better because it was a bad adaptation. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they were trying to do with this. I don't know why they have to deviate from the source material because
Yep.
Street Fighter 4 just appeared after during that time. Street Fighter
Uh,
4 was like one of the best Street Fighters. It was a really great comeback. Like if we talk about great Street Fighter games, 2 and 4 in my opinion are really great.
yeah.
So yeah, and now
Best hero, best villain.
we go to Mortal Kombat. Diba, the
Yeah.
90s ones are really campy. The first one was fun, diba?
Yeah, oh,
Pe-
definitely. Super
yeah, people
fun.
were people are kind of disappointed with the second one because
They killed Johnny
despite the
Cage in
camp
like the
of the
first 5 minutes.
yeah, it was just it wasn't as good. But hey,
Yeah.
we at least got 2021 with a very nice look into how it feels like video game Mortal Kombat because Kano just said Kano wins.
Yeah,
He
you
declared his
fucking beauty.
victory,
And I
and
think
a lot of what
mm, the interesting part about the character of Kano is that he originally was American, but somehow because the actor of Kano was they got the actor the original actor for Kano in the movie was Australian. He was so convincing that Ed Boon, if I recall correctly,
yeah, he
was
changed it in the
so
video games.
sorry.
He changed it in the video games too. It
Yeah,
was
like he
on the video
retroactively
game.
became Australian,
Yeah.
and it's
So yeah,
perfect.
they adjusted him, and it worked. And then
Definitely worked.
we look. I think if there was one gripe about Mortal Kombat 2021 for me, it's just
The lack of Kano.
Cole Young.
Ah,
Cole
worst
Young
villain,
was
worst hero
very
ka agad eh, no?
I mean, I think he channeled the spirit of he channeled the spirit of like was that Taven in Tagon? I forgot the name of
Probably
the
Taven.
generic character in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the story mode.
Mm-hmm.
He was that in that same mold.
Okay.
Kind of felt like a generic generic protagonist that we can run along, diba? Taven, yeah. Thank you. There was called Taven. Yeah, it was weird kasi um yeah, that's Cole Young could have been written, a bit better. Like, may have been stuck to the Mortal Kombat lore better in some way. Because it was so weird.
Speaking
But
speaking
apart
of
yeah, go.
speaking of Cole Young, you know the weirdest part about the character?
What?
Diba, he doesn't have any suit. The whole story of Cole Young revolves around the fact that I have no superpower. And then his literal superpower when he gets it is plot armor.
Literal
Literal
plot
plot
armor.
armor. Like what the heck, man?
Unless he
You're
actually
the descendant
becomes
of Scorpion
Scorpion
and you
in the
get
next
plot
one.
armor?
Yeah. Unless he becomes Scorpion in the next one.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. Like
Yeah, he'd be cool
he
if he
needs
became
to become
Scorpion.
he needs to have that freaking hook. I don't care if he has that armor, sure, because Scorpion is pretty sturdy as a
Yeah.
whole. So if just as long if he does that, if they do that in a sequel, I'll forgive them for making Cole Young
And the
that
Miz is
generic
Johnny
guy.
Cage.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny Cage is no. I think I love that. I'm kind of okay with them preserving Johnny Cage,
Hmm.
not putting him there because it would. I think you leave a banger, leave a banger
Yeah.
for
You need a banger for
first.
the sequel
But
talaga.
they kind of gambled on it too because if this movie failed, we wouldn't see Johnny Cage. So
That is true.
thankfully the movie did well enough naman. We enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable film
Definitely.
and across the crazy pantheon of movies based on video games, it's in the half that it's in the half that's good, watchable, and
Yeah.
enjoyable. So
All
yeah, I
right.
mean we haven't seen Johnny Cage, Shao Kahn, and a lot of other characters. So that's gonna be interesting. I mean, they have a franchise on their hands, and I just hope that
Exactly.
they really do well with it. But yeah, Steven,
So,
I
mhm.
think we could just go with the verdict. Like, who did this better? I think we
Okay,
can just talk about it.
definitely. Okay, here's the hard part. If we're talking about the originals, Street Fighter can almost beat Mortal Kombat with
I
the
think it has
original
an
movie.
edge there. Yeah, Raul
Yeah, kasi come
Julia's
on,
edge.
best villain, man. Raul Julia as M. Bison. Gomez
Yeah.
Adams is M. Bison. Just think about that. He has two iconic characters then.
Mhm.
And then for the 90s Mortal Kombat, it was good. And then the sequel happened, wherein they literally killed off Johnny Cage barely 5 minutes into the movie.
Worst decision.
Why? What was the point of killing off Johnny Cage when he's one of the main characters of the game? So,
Yeah,
in the end, final verdict, okay, it's Mortal Kombat. And if
yeah.
we're talking,
I think the if we're weighting it both, all the
yeah,
movies combined, I know
yeah,
Mortal Kombat has the advantage of having three, but the second one was bad enough to to almost derail Mortal Kombat. So
yeah.
but thankfully there was something worse called The Legend of Chun-Li.
All right. So,
So,
best hero, best villain, worst villain for you. Just one
best
each. No need to
hero,
explain.
best hero. Hmm, I think we could just say Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, the good guys
The
of Mortal
three.
Kombat. Yeah.
Okay.
Best
Okay.
villain, of course, for franchise goes to M Bison.
Yeah.
Unless we get a really crazy ass Shao Kahn in the next one, in the next Mortal
Hmm.
Kombat film, that
Wor-
would still be the
hmm.
verdict.
Worst hero.
What's the other one? What's the last
Worst
one?
hero and worst villain. I think I know your
Worst
answer for worst
hero.
hero.
Well, um, yeah. Sorry, Cole Young. He needs to be Scorpion to change that. I no. Worst hero probably the 2009 Chun Li.
Damn. She's that
Kasi
bad,
like at
huh?
least Cole Young was fleshed out and it was still close to the video game. He
Okay.
felt like he at least felt like a Mortal Kombat character. Kasi
Okay.
Chun-Li in the Legend of Chun-Li is that was not
All right. What
yeah.
about worst villain?
Worst villain, let's see. Bison in the Bison of literature. Sorry, it's just bad enough na we can just dunk on this movie enough na it just should not see the light of day in a lot. They need, if Street Fighter needs to do something. But yeah, before we go to the next part, let's go to the comments. So yeah, oh yeah, Carl Lorenzo said early on, best video game movie on his list, Ready Player One and Pixels.
Pixels,
Uh,
really?
yeah, they're
Wow.
really well. Pixels is a nice tribute to just 80s arcade.
Yeah,
I mean, despite how it had its fun moments. Ready Player One is just a shout out to like the 20th century nerd in us
yeah.
in
Like
that way.
it's actually really
And
cool. Yeah.
yeah,
All right. Next up.
and yeah. Um, let's see. What's now we go to from one famous franchise, long-standing franchise, to another. I mean, I think all the movies here are based on awesome franchises, and of course, we're gonna talk about upcoming video game movies or previous video game movies worth mentioning. And the next franchise we have is Pokemon and Resident Evil. Now,
Oh my gosh,
okay,
this is
Pokemon
unfair.
Pokemon is a long-standing Pokemon and Resident Evil are long-standing franchises that started in the 90s, really got hot in the 90s, and kind of got a divided audience by the 2000s, and by the
That is
2010s
true.
they kind of got back their audience in some way, diba? In terms of video games. Kasi like Pokemon, some of the next generations after Gen 3 didn't really catch on to a
That's
lot of
true.
audiences in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Like only recently we people get to appreciate the newer ones, diba? And then for Resident Evil, they tried to go from survival horror to action by
Mm-hmm.
in Resident Evil 5 and 6, in 6 more of, which almost like hurt the franchise. And then they went with that weird umbrella core where it turned into a tactical shooter and slash esport. And then they got back by creating Resident Evil 7 and 8 and their Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. Diba? They got back the survival horror vibe, the horror. They put the horror back in their franchise. The same way that Pokemon got people invested in Pokemon. Like Pokemon Go is a huge success.
Definitely.
Sword and Shield, despite the controversy, it got people back into Pokemon in some way. Pokemon Unite now is just
Yeah,
hot
that's
right now.
true.
So especially when it's now on mobile and Switch, so more people are gonna just run to, and it's a huge possibility that it can be an esport as well. So that's gonna be cool. But
Crazy.
let's talk about the movies now.
Ah,
Resident Evil has a lot of movies, has more movies than Pokemon. In terms of live action, there's only one live action Pokemon movie. But if we're talking about movies, Pokemon has a great set of animated ones.
definitely. Like the
One
Mewtwo
of some of
movie.
the,
Mm,
yeah, and even we talk about the first one, and it feels like, yeah,
yeah,
it's great. It's great already. And we have Detective Pikachu, so which is great. It was surprisingly great. It was based on a spin-off video game. They kind of took a risk on that, but hey, they took a risk, and Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu is actually fun.
that is true. Like
For his
Ryan
character,
Reynolds Pikachu was unexpectedly good. It's like okay. I guess we're gonna mention the Mario movie later, but it's kind of like that. I guess when the announcement happened, everybody was like, "Ryan Reynolds is Pikachu? Why?" But it worked.
yeah,
But
but
we're
it
gonna talk
had the
about that
good
more
graces
later.
of him being Deadpool first,
Yeah, that's true.
he got the character, he got the personality down, like on a previous role, which gave which gave people more confidence on how what can he do as as a Pikachu. I mean, you know, now he's like the second most popular Pikachu next to Ash's Pikachu. also known as Pikachu.
Yeah.
Anyway, now we
Now,
talk next
hmm,
up. We talk about Resident Evil movies. Okay, Resident Evil movies are a unique case. Kasi
how do you describe it?
there's live action and there's animated too.
Hmm.
Now we talk about the film series made by first five at least five of the movies were made by Paul W.S. Anderson. So
Yeah.
Paul W.S. Anderson, the ones he directed and wrote were kind of a weird series that deviated from the entire movie from the movie, but it starred Mila Djokovic, and it has its own set of fans. It's like it's campy action in general. It's weird.
Hmm.
It's like over the top action, not related to the game, but somehow it churned out one, two, three, six movies.
6 movies. Wow.
Six movies. Yeah. So it was successful on its own right, and it also has a reboot incoming this year in November. We'll talk about that later because we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about upcoming video game movies as well. And yeah, despite that, despite the campiness, some people don't want to see those Resident Evil movies. And it's weird. It's weird because the protagonist is Alice, which is not someone you see in a Resident Evil game. Sure, Jill Valentine was there, but none of the main characters weren't really there,
Hmm.
apart from maybe Tyrant and Nemesis being the prominent ones. And of course, and later on we have Claire Redfield as well. But yeah, it's so weird. Like the fact that there's six movies that felt so different. It's just a wild ride. And there's the animated movies that were kind of closer to the game, like spin-offs of Leon, Wesker, the Redfields, and the gang. So that one had a better reception than the movie. So Steven, I think we go to our showdown criteria
All
here.
right. Better plot, I think, would be Pokemon.
Yeah, well, I think wouldn't be. They're
Yeah.
pretty faithful to the games. Detective Pikachu is like a movie based on the spin-off itself, so
And it worked.
it works.
The thing with Resident Evil that doesn't work for me is that it just totally spinned away in. I mean, it's cool. It's cool that it has its own mini universe now, but a lot of faithful fans don't like that, which is totally understandable. So my vote here goes to Pokemon, just because it's more faithful to the franchise for the most part. And then what about you, Jude? Which movie plot do you think is better, Pokemon or Resident
I'll
Evil?
go with Pokemon.
Okay, all right. Sige. And then for next part is best hero, best villain, worst hero, worst villain. I think you
Um,
you start.
Best hero. I think we could give this to Resident Evil. Mila Jovovich's character
Hmm.
still had, despite how weird it is,
Mm-hmm.
it was still fun.
Hmm.
It had its own audience, so it had its own twist in the Resident Evil lore, sure. But hey, she was on that role for like six movies, and it was action packed. And
Hmm.
I think you can give her credit on that. Best. Are we going to the best villain now? Best
Yes,
villain.
best
Best
villain.
villain. I would say Mewtwo on the animated one.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
he was kind of. I mean, Team Rocket. Let's just put Team Rocket there. Team
Okay.
Rocket. The entirety of Team Rocket is just great villain. Really good villain. They're the classic campy villain na you just beat them every week, but they still keep coming back. You know, something like a comic book villain there. I can't now for worst hero, worst villain. I don't have. I don't have an entry. It feels like they don't have enough. Eh.
Hmm. Sige, sige. All right, so do we move on na lang since wala na tayong
Well,
ma-decide?
Pokemon wins this one. Let's just
Yeah,
say that
obviously.
flat out.
Obviously.
We just have to say that. And then
Yeah.
I think do we have some messages, Steven, before we go to our next item?
Yes, let's go check some messages. Also, by the way, um, payday's coming next week, and the 10/10 sales are coming. So don't forget to use our little link from Shopee. It is podlink.co/o2k. That little link will help us earn a little bit of money on the side to help
Mm-hmm.
keep this
Extra support.
podcast running. So, Jude, if you could just show the code on the
Oh
screen
yeah.
so that people will
Give
know
me
about our little promo. Well our little code, our little affiliate code
podlink.co. And
slash.
I know I can't remember if Shopee TGJ is still active. Is it still active,
I
Steve?
think so. I mean, hopefully it is.
Yeah, anyway, for this works if you're a first time buyer. I think it does.
Yeah, it works in general.
It works
To
in
go.
general. Yeah, just use
It
our
works in
link. You
general.
can get you get awesome discounts while supporting the podcast. That's the
That is
best
true.
part. And
Moving on to our
and
next set of movies.
oh yeah, but before let's take a look at some comments first.
uh,
Yeah. Speaking of Mortal Kombat, Batista can be Shao Kahn,
yeah.
and then Psyduck and Detective Pikachu was like the best, one of the best Pokemon there. He was just that's Psyduck.
Oh, Psyduck. Saying hi to Jackie, by the way. Hi to Jackie, Derv, Tim. Saying hi, guy. Hi to you
Yeah,
guys.
and then
Mortal Kombat. Oh man.
let's see. YouTube movie. Tim mentioned Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, which is like a fan made movie. Oh, we're noting
Mm,
now we can talk about fan made movies in a separate episode too,
that
Steve.
is true.
It's a
That
lot.
is
There's a lot
true.
of that. Like even like it's like the Uncharted fan movie that was the short film which felt like a nice little game cutscene that was so cool.
The little
Yeah.
Batman movies with
Mm-hmm.
a guest of the show before, Kevin Porter. The
Mm-hmm.
internet Batman, essentially. That guy from Dodgeball. And
See.
he does those Batman fan films. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we go to our next set of movies,
This
Jude.
is a this is a this is like our main event in a way. This is an
Yeah.
iconic mascot showdown that has
Mm.
happened in for 3 decades now. This was the console rivalry of the 80s and early 90s. And they've showed down a bit. They've had a prolific they have had dozens upon dozens of games now. At least 2 dozen games
Probably
since
more.
their debut
Yeah.
on their respective platforms, and that is Mario and Sonic. Now, in the video
Hmm.
game world, Mario has the upper hand, definite upper hand. The Super Mario games never fail to impress. Although Mario Party tends to be the worst of the bunch.
Hey now.
The
Hey
Mar the
now.
recent Mario Party games get the flack there because
Okay.
people there's just it's just not enough content. Like sure they're fun party games, but like it feels like the Mario Party needs a bit more variety for the recent run. There's Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Strikers, and there's Mario Kart.
Hmm.
So and then
Iconic.
Paper Mario is like its own series. If you want an RPG, and of course Super Mario RPG is still very playable today. The original platforming Mario's are just like the best, and we forget Wario. Wario is there. The Wario games are count here. Luigi's Mansion,
WarioWare.
diba? See, and then
Yeah.
meanwhile we have Sonic, whose peak was the Sega Genesis, and
Ah,
never
sad.
really never really came back from that despite how fun Sonic Adventure was on the Dreamcast. They kind of ruined with it start the downfall started with like Sonic 2006, the reboot the Hedgehog, where
Being a
we
werewolf.
were where we witnessed an interspecies kissing scene. So yeah,
Ew.
that's one. And then the run of Sonic games went up and down. Sonic Mania was great, but it wasn't completely made by Sega. It was made by a fan who loved the original Sonic games, so kind of doesn't count on Sega's canon in a way. So that means they still haven't done justice. Meanwhile, on the movie front, it's pretty interesting because why? By the way, we're not yet gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the upcoming Super Mario movie after this, a bit after, because
Yeah.
we're gonna compare the released ones over the released ones first. So in the 80s, I think 80s, the Super Mario
Yes,
movie,
it
or
was in
was
the
it
80s,
90s?
yeah.
Okay, late 80s, okay. And then Sonic the Hedgehog, which was 2019, 2020. I
Um
can't remember
okay.
now.
Sonic the Hedgehog was the last movie I watched before the pandemic started.
Okay, so it's 2020. Okay.
2020. I just finished an interview with Miguel Mercado. By the way, I wanted to plug this as well. Miguel Mercado will be signing his comic books that he designed for free
Mhm.
in Comic Odyssey. Just get the Miguel Mercado covers of your comics in the store or delivered to Comic Odyssey by September 30. Get your
Okay,
Miguel Mercado covers delivered there by then so that you can get your comic signed by Miguel himself for free. So anyway,
that's
moving
awesome.
on, going back to Sonic the
Sonic.
Hedgehog and Mario, the Super Mario Brothers movie starring John Leguizamo. Oh wait, it was 1993.
Yeah, it was
Really?
90s. Okay.
I'm speechless. Speechless, man.
What?
I'm speechless. This
Which one?
movie came
Over the
out the
90s
same
Super
year
Mario
as
Brothers
Jurassic
movie?
Park.
Yeah, well, um, uh, yeah, let's just say that it was a movie that people would rather forget. It's it's a weird movie. It was Bob Hoskins as Mario and John Leguizamo as Luigi Mario,
Makes no sense.
and we had Dennis Hopper as King Koopa. Can't even imagine Dennis Hopper as King Koopa. How
You
did
don't want
that
to see
look?
that. You don't even want to see the designs. The designs
Well,
are
we have to
scary.
see it for the sake. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have Do you even know what Yoshi looks like in the movie?
Now I think my brain tends to prevent that from me remembering.
Yeah.
So let's
Do
see.
not, people, do not search it on Google right now. Do not search what Yoshi looked like in the original Super Mario Brothers movie because it's.
Well, it's too late. I have to really check it. Yoshi.
I
Oh
wish you luck, Jude.
well, I didn't know that Jurassic Park was in the movie too. But hey, but yeah, let's just say the Super Mario Brothers movie was a really disappointing one. It kind of hurts the childhood there, especially
Definitely does.
how great the Mario games are until now. It's like it feels like one of the biggest blemishes of Mario, next to maybe um the Philips CDI Mario games and the Virtual Boy Mario game, and that those aren't even those aren't even as bad as the movie at some point. At least those are at least you can dodge them and forget them easier than this movie. But yeah, meanwhile on Sonic, now Sonic the
Mm.
Hedgehog's movie 2021 movie initially launched with a negative reception because Sonic looked so weird. They tried to make him a bit too realistic, which is not the case. We wish that he were just a cartoon hedgehog
Yeah, definitely. I
in a
mean,
real world, because that's how it works. Sonic Adventure is that way, diba?
yeah,
In
they're
the
in their own
Dreamcast.
world instead of like being slapped on in the real world just for some weird reason. I'm
Hmm.
like, look, if Avengers can do movies in space that isn't even connected to, Earth or whatever, I'm sure Sonic can do it. Like the opening scene in the first movie in the Green Hill Zone, in the first Sonic movie, because now we have Knuckles as Idris Elba as Knuckles, so he's gonna
Yeah,
show us
we
the
have to talk
way,
about that later.
in a bit, yeah. The Green Hill Zone scene was amazing. As in, Sonic was so cute. I
Mm-mm.
mean, it's not Baby Yoda levels of cute, but still, it was good. Like, It felt like you were watching the game on a really, really big screen, and the music was amazing. So, Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, is almost a flawless movie for me personally.
Well, it also had Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, which worked,
Yes.
like
It
somehow
worked. Like
worked
I don't know
because
how, but it worked.
I mean, Jim Carrey is a bit late into his career now at this point, and
Yeah.
somehow gets the roles going there, and
Like the
yeah, he did
weird
well.
thing is, sorry, can I just say, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik was so unexpected. Kasi I thought, okay, for the longest time, Jim Carrey wasn't doing these crazy roles anymore. The last one was probably, is it Lord Olaf from Lemony Snicket?
I think he was in Lemony
Lemony
Snicket,
Snicket. Yeah, like that was the like most recent one that I could
a
think of.
series
That
of
was,
unfortunate events. Yeah.
yeah, series of unfortunate events. And then after that, it was all like more serious roles, doing things like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is still my favorite movie. Um, it it's been so long na parang naging refreshing siya. So it's almost like Jim Carrey coming back is a perfect match for this Sonic movie because it's something from the 90s that you feel like got dated that's suddenly good again. So it's kind of like that with Jim Carrey as Robotnik and the Sonic the Hedgehog movie versus, everyone ridiculing it. And then it 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 exceeded my expectations. Sadly, the studio that did the redesign shut down for financial reasons, I think.
Well, the remaking of Sonic was very costly.
Successful. Yeah, very successful. But hey, would you rather have Sonic with a human face or Sonic with his normal hedgehog face, diba?
Hmm.
So, we thank the
But yeah,
artist who did all the redesigns so fast. And well, we move on. We moved on
now
to,
we go to their let's go to the let's go to the best hero, best villain on this one. I think I can start. Best hero, I think we can just agree. Best hero on either of this is Sonic.
oh
Really
yeah,
fun.
Ben Schwartz's
No
Sonic
doubt.
was really good.
Best villain would go to Dr. Robotnik as well.
Yeah,
And worst hero, worst villain, worst hero maybe both the Mario brothers are just yeah, they didn't
just
hit
how
the mark
unfaithful it
there.
is to the franchise.
And then King Koopa, Dennis Hopper is just no,
No,
there's no worst
no.
villain on that. Yeah, it's a sweep for Sonic, which is rare. Sonic rarely wins in a versus Mario showdown, whether it be Smash, whether it be console wars, and whether it be 2000s video games. there. So Sonic gets the rare win over Mario here. Now before we end the episode, let's talk about upcoming movies based on video games.
Okay, let's start off with, I
And
guess,
we can talk about some of the ones we missed a bit. Upcoming. One thing I want to mention is Uncharted is coming soon
that's true. That's true.
by Sony Films, and it stars Tom Holland as Nathan Drake and Matt Damon as Sully. So they're gonna go young here because people assume, or I think it's already implied, it's already said that it's a prequel to the Uncharted games.
Seems like it. Seems like it. We need like a
Yeah, and
little time jump.
it's like because in the games we were able to see Nathan Drake as a kid and a teenager. So we get the glimpse of that. Now I think we get to see a young adult one.
Yeah.
So early 20s Nathan Drake and Sully, like his early adventures as a thief. So thief slash treasure hunter. However you would want to move that around. But yeah, and it's really interesting. And I think Tom Holland has the personality to just run Nathan Drake, to be Nathan Drake.
It can work. I mean, he's a little fresh faced, but I think it can
I
work.
mean, he did work as Spider Man and got the New York accent there, got the New
Yeah,
York
that's true.
accent. So I think
He did.
he can go with. I think he has enough character and charm to just run to become Nathan Drake. And I really hope it's an action packed one. Like if Uncharted is one thing, it's a spectacle. It's a cinematic it's a cinematic experience. So the whole game is cinematic. So it was really
Hmm.
fun.
It's a
Next
perfect
one,
adaptation to that.
yeah. Next one we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Not much info apart from Idris Elba being Knuckles, right?
Hmm. Uh I really wanted the voice of Knuckles from Sonic Boom. For those familiar with the Sonic Boom TV show, you will understand because that Knuckles is so funny. He's the best. But Idris Elba as Knuckles could work in this franchise. We will see. We will see
I think
because
he's
he's
just
already been here.
I think having a notable star for that one just gives it just gives it a bit of boost. Like hey,
Yeah.
and it's kind of funny and unexpected that Idris Elba would be Knuckles.
Like imagine Idris Elba talking about Dewe. Like I mean
Oh, if
in a
they
way,
reference that meme, it's gonna be the internet's gonna implode when the movie comes out. So that's gonna be
diba?
interesting. What are other let's see, upcoming video
What's
game
next to my
movies?
face right now?
Well,
What's
that
next to my
one
face right
is
now?
well,
Ah,
okay. I guess we can
mm,
talk about the Super Mario movie now.
ah,
I don't have a problem with the rest of the cast.
yeah, yeah,
Like the rest of the cast is fine. Jack
yeah,
Black as Bowser is gonna be funny. I think
yeah,
he can carry that one.
yeah.
Keegan Michael Key as Toad confirms that Toad is black, according to some internet circles. So like, okay. And then Anya Taylor Joy as Peach is an interesting
Uh,
choice, but I think she can do it. Like, it's not.
Probably.
It's gonna be interesting. But yeah, Chris Pratt is I don't
Why?
know. Like, he just feels like he's there. He's in too many places. Like, no, we don't want to see more Chris Pratt on our movies and shows. Please, we're just. It's I think it's actor fatigue as well, and
That is true.
he's just a meh character, and yeah, he just feels. I mean, sure, there's Stargord. Stargord is actually likable, but that's the only thing. That's like the only good thing, and maybe like his character in the Lego Movie was fun.
And
But
Parks
yeah,
and Recreation.
beyond that, like yeah, Parks and Recreation was fun. But that's where he
So that's it,
emerged.
man. Nothing
Yeah,
else. Like,
well, and now we talk about the upcoming Resident Evil one. Yeah, thanks, Jackie. Stars Kaya Scodelario and Avan Hoge as Kaya would be Claire Redfield, the iconic Claire Redfield finally. And
hmm.
Hannah John Kamen would be Jill Valentine, and Robbie Amell as Chris Redfield. So that's
Robbie
gonna be
Amell,
cool.
really?
Yep.
Damn.
And Avan Hogg as Leon Kennedy. So it's gonna be really cool. It's a cast that features the classic Resi characters, the main franchise characters, and I think it's gonna be cool. And they also have Ada Wong in this movie, so that's fun. Ada Wong. It has every character in the. Albert Wesker is here. Albert Wesker is played by Tom Hopper,
Man.
who is Luther Hargreaves in the Umbrella Academy.
Nice,
So it's gonna be
nice.
interesting. So
It's gonna
it's
be
an
very.
interesting cast, and it
It's
features
for
a lot of
Netflix, right?
fresh faces. Actually, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really young cast, and I think this is a good way to try and stick close to the game franchise plot. Just stick to close to the plot. We can also do a showdown between soon between Silent Hill and Resident Evil, but Silent Hill only had one movie, and
Hmm.
it's kind of sad. Next up we have I was gonna compare. I think we can compare Uncharted and Tomb Raider soon or
Oh
something,
yeah,
diba? But it
once we
would
get
be
more
unfair to
information on
compare one
Uncharted,
movie
yeah.
to a host of like three movies now
Yeah.
for Tomb Raider. So then lest we forget, there's a Prince of Persia movie before, diba?
Oh yeah, with Jake Gyllenhaal, white guy playing
Yeah,
an African man,
and then we forgot that Monster Hunter existed.
which also stars Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, and it's also based on
Ah.
a Capcom franchise too. So she's like double on that. So it's just weird.
Wait, how many
And
Capcom games has Mila Jovovich been a part of now?
two for the most
Oh,
part, yeah. But yeah, she's been around in she's been around in for so long. She's been around in Resi for so long. It feels
like
a
all she
lot.
needs now
Oh,
is Street Fighter,
Silent
man.
Hill also had the 2012 movie Silent Hill Revelation. So yeah, we can compare Resident Evil and Silent Hill soon enough in a future episode. So that's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be interesting.
Hmm.
And
It's a weird time. It's a weird time.
yeah, I'm just looking to a list. Borderlands is gonna have a movie.
Really?
Borderlands, and
Nice.
Borderlands is one of the when it comes to character work, Borderlands had some of the best characters in video games for of the last decade. So that's kind of cool.
Hmm. Man, I mean, there's so much. Like Hollywood's finally beginning to realize the potential of video game
Uh-huh.
movies. It's just that again with things like the Mario movie and the recent, weird design of Sonic, they are still not fully in touch with what the audience wants, which
Yeah.
is surprising. But as a whole, I think we're finally taking baby steps. But the Chris Pratt casting for me is like one step forward, two steps back.
Well,
We
I
have to
would
wait and
I would
see.
just love to hear Jack Black as Bowser.
I did share something on our Discord, so if you are
Yeah.
on our Discord, it's gonna be
Yeah,
very fun.
that would be cool.
Yeah,
That would be interesting. Minus the
imagine,
swearing.
imagine,
But yeah,
imagine Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen, Donkey Kong going, "I want my bananas." Hey, you smoke a banana?
and then Jack Black. So that's a crazy combination right there.
Yeah,
And
it will be.
also worth noting that they're weird. We get there when it comes to movie franchise. Hitman is like technically a movie franchise. Like there are two Hitman movies at the very least.
Really?
Yeah, Hitman and Hitman Agent 47. So that
Hmm.
the one had Timothy Oliphant. So
Nice.
marginally better. And remember Jake Gyllenhaal as the Prince of Persia?
I remember that. It was so weird. It was like right on the height of the Mummy,
Yeah.
diba? It was like Brendan Fraser was at his peak talaga. And then like I think everybody just wanted their own like African themed movie franchise.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's talk about yeah, oh my god. There's an upcoming Ghost of Tsushima film, untitled
Oh,
yet. That's
finally.
gonna be
Nice.
cool. A movie based on Just Cause, which is an action
Hmm.
spectacle na I think someone that feels like a Michael Bay film because
Ah,
it's just explosions and toppling dictators. That's what
does it
Just Cause is
include
all about.
Okay, question. Since we're talking about Michael Bay movies, does it include big boob blonde women and American flags?
Well, that's just America. On some jacked up jacked up Americans mind, that's America. Anyway,
Yeah, that's
there's a
true.
Mega Man movie that's gonna be on Netflix, so
Man.
I hope it I know the Mega Man games got a nice little revival because Mega Man 11 was good.
Hmm.
They kind of revived the franchise. They can not really revive. They just introduced a new game. It wasn't the past few games are still good. And a Minecraft movie. This one's big.
Oh
Minecraft is
yeah.
perhaps the biggest video game of the decade and of the last
Yeah.
decade. And yeah, it's about time. I don't know how they'll do that. I hope they go animated on this one. And Tomb Raider has the Alicia Vikander Tomb Raider has a sequel, Tomb Raider Obsidian.
Hmm.
no release date yet, but that's gonna be interesting.
It's an Oscar
Five
winner,
Nights at
man.
Freddy's film, so that's gonna be
Ah,
cool.
yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's, just as long as you make it scary, a thriller, a scary or suspenseful thriller, it's gonna work. Just
Oh yeah.
keep the setting. Just keep the haunted Chuck E. Cheese setting feel
Yeah.
there. In that way, because that's what it needs. Oh, an untitled Metal Gear Solid film, which, oh my
Ooh.
god, this is like long overdue. Like people have been talking about this. It's same like it's in the same case as the Halo movie, but the Halo movie, I think there's no progress on that yet.
How long has the Halo movie been like stuck in development hell? It's been so
I mean,
long.
it's stuck. It's been stuck in the planning stage, development hell thing. So really weird.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just yeah, it's not no. Oh no, yeah, yeah. We if going back to Five Nights at Freddy, yes, Jack said Chuck E. Cheese, haunted Chuck E. Cheese, and animatronics possessed by dead children. So yeah, horror franchise right there. And and I think if ever they release this, like every other Five Nights at Freddy's material, it's all canon, whether it be book or video game. So that's gonna be
Grabe.
interesting, diba? Oh,
Yeah.
a Just Dance film, Steven. Would you want to see
What?
that?
Why?
I don't know why, but I don't know.
What am I gonna do? You just
Oh
gotta
God, there's
dance.
gonna be a Space Invaders film. I hope they. I wonder how they'll do this. If they
Pixels
make it too
already did
serious,
it.
it's gonna be like Battleship. Remember Battleship, Steven?
Starring Rihanna, people. Starring Fenty
Battleship.
Cosmetics
I
Rihanna.
watched that movie in its entirety. I don't know why, but I just watched it. If there was one thing that I want to see soon, I think they can try Doom again.
Yes,
I
please.
think
That would be fun.
a high budget version of Doom would do
And
well.
instead of The Rock, get Chris Pratt.
No, no, no. Instead, no. I think they could get the Doom guy, Doomslayer. Doom guy doesn't talk that much. Get Tom Hardy
Hmm.
on this one. Tom Hardy can be jacked up and quiet, right?
Bane. Uh,
And gonna be cool. What else? What else is upcoming? An untitled Crossfire film. Why the hell do they
just,
have to make
oh my
a game
gosh.
about a movie about a multiplayer game? It has I mean it has millions of players across Asia, so it's one of the most
Let's
popular
just.
games. But yeah,
Next
I would
thing you
love
know,
to
it's
see.
Fortnite the movie, it's like just,
Well, Fortnite the movie would be more successful than Crossfire.
that
That's
is
one
true.
thing. It would still generate money, and it would kind of work. Saints Row will have a film, and I think it would be worth. I think it would be worth a film. Saints Row, because
Let's
Saints Row
hope
is
so,
over the
man.
top, ridiculousness. It's like ripe for a comedy.
Hmm.
And lastly, there's a untitled Yakuza film. Yakuza. So like
Oh,
I
damn.
I want this to be. I hope that works. You know.
They should just get the voice of Kazuma Kiryu to do it. He's the
Yeah,
perfect
but if it's a
age.
live action, I just hope they get. I just hope the casting. Of course, we are always worried about how the casting works in all these
Yeah.
films because Uncharted and Uncharted and Tomb Raider don't really have casting issues. Resident Evil and because it's all set in American like Western setting, so you can cast Westerners for that easily.
Yeah.
But for others like Asian setting, it's really hard. Oh, Gears of War is having a movie, and there's enough narrative for that to work. Gears of War, it can be a sci-fi franchise.
Hmm.
Now
And
I guess that's it. There's
yeah.
upcoming movies based on video games, and that's it. And that's episode 91. But before we go, I think we can just promote this one, Steven, our
Yes,
Comixology gift card giveaway before we leave.
that is true. All right. So help us get to 1,000 likes on Facebook by leaving a comment on our pin post on Facebook. Just name one comic book artist that we featured. I just mentioned one earlier on this episode. So mention their name on and make sure to like our page. Once
Mm.
you like our page and have a comment on the Facebook post, we will include you on our $10 gift card giveaway once we reach 1,000 likes.
Mhm.
And then if you are watching us on Twitch right now, just follow us. And we will raffle off another $10 gift card.
Yeah, and
So
speaking of
we're almost.
finding out which of our guests were comic book artists, you can take a look at our previous episodes. And the way that you can do that is by looking at our the Geeky Ones podcast
Yes, I love the
on
transition.
Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other podcast platforms. You can just search us. We're pretty much present in a lot of places, so that's the best part. You can find us
Mhm.
anywhere in a lot of podcasting. And for social media profiles, you can follow at the Geek Ones on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. So that's all the same one. And of course, we have the geekyones.com where we write about blogs, movie reviews, video game reviews, anything, supplementary content for some supporting content for our for our podcast content. So like there's a lot bonus content there. And of course, we have a new podcast called Evolving Backwards. There's 2 episodes so far. You can listen to it on Anchor and Spotify. It's a slice of life podcast where we answer one question as a group. Each one answers like one question. It's like insightful life stuff, or just chaotic fun stuff. So it's either that or either or in between. So that's cool. And Steven, where can we find you?
All right, you can
Promote your
find me on
social.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Stevie Said Yup. I do talk about things that we don't really talk about on the geeky ones, like hockey and
Mm-hmm.
maybe occasionally comic books, which we haven't done in a while because the comic book scene's kind of slowed down since the pandemic a little bit. So find you can find my comic book rants over there, and even comic book unboxings if you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
That is it.
Well, for me, you can find me on Do It's Jude on Facebook, where I stream games. So every now and then I stream. So recently I was streaming from Wednesday to Friday. I streamed the last 2 days. I streamed No One Lives Forever, a
Mm-hmm.
nice 2000s FPS game. I'm gonna continue that next week. I'm just thinking if I'm going for a Monday to Friday sked or Wednesday to Friday again.
Hmm.
But either way, it's gonna be fun. I'm exploring. I'm just playing various video games to completion, mostly FPS games, and that's a lot of fun. And yeah, if you're looking for video game content, or where just hang out and watch me play video games, that's gonna be cool. Yeah, just leave a follow on my Facebook page, and that's awesome. And I guess that's it for the Geeky Ones episode 91. So
Bye.
91, we're in the 90s range now, and we're getting closer to that immaculate 100 number, and that's awesome. So yeah, but yeah, for now that's it. You can listen to the audio version of this on Anchor, Spotify. Once more, we'll release it, of course, within the next week as of as of this recording. So yeah, but hey, thank you for those who are watching and commenting. Awesome stuff. And once again, this has been the Geeky Ones. I'm Jude, and Steven is there. And bye. Thank you so much. So
Bye.
farewell and see you next.